So let me cut to the chase here, y'all. I loved Inside Out 2, but is it one of Pixar's best sequels? Well, I'll answer that later in the video, but first I gotta gush about Inside Out 2, guys, because I had a blast with this film. Inside Out 2 sees Riley turn 13 years old, and just as emotions joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear finally start to run a successful operation, anxiety and other new emotions begin to emerge. We've got a mixed cast of returning and new voice actors, including Amy Poehler as Joy, Phyllis Smith as Sadness, Louis Black as Anger, Tony Hale, who is replacing Bill Hader as Fear, Liza Lapira, who is replacing Mindy Kaling as Disgust, Maya Hawke as Anxiety, Ayo Edebiri as Envy, Adèle Exarchopoulos as Ennui, and Paul Walter Hauser as Embarrassment. And this is the directorial debut of Kelsey Mann, who has had involvement in plenty of Pixar films. So Inside Out 2, guys, there are some fantastic things about this film. Love the returning emotions. Just want to say joy and all of the returning emotions, sadness, anger, disgust, fear, they're all so well voice acted and so beautifully animated. I love that Tony Hale and Liza Lapira are not trying to be Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling. They're bringing their own pizzazz to the roles of fear and disgust, and I love that. I think that they do a mighty good job of creating a new version of these characters. The new emotions are also really great. We get Anxiety, who's voiced by Maya Hawke, Envy by Ayo Edebiri, Ennui by Adèle Exarchopoulos, and Embarrassment, who is voiced by Paul Walter Hauser, and they all do a wonderful job. Gotta give a special shout out to Paul Walter Hauser, who I think does an incredible job of emoting, because Embarrassment doesn't talk much, so I think that he does a great job of just using his voice to emote. Maya Hawke, incredible as Anxiety, embodies the very meaning of being anxious in this one little character, and I think the personification of these new emotions are hit with the nail on the head, guys. I mean, they are so crazy depicted that it's scary, especially anxiety, and the way that we can get absorbed into anxiety. And I think that Inside Out 2 that takes us through an incredible journey with these emotions and how it could be to transition from childhood to being a teenager and how these new emotions emerge. And I love that they personify anxiety in such a way that's so relatable. It's funny, chock full of humor, guys. There's like a lot of funny little beats in this, and I love the other emotions involved as well. I can't quite spoil and say too many other emotions that are involved, but there are some other ones that'll pop up here and there, and I really love the involvement of those emotions as well. I think the film does a fantastic job of further developing the animation. I think the animation is gorgeous. I mean, beautifully animated. And not that the first one wasn't animated well, but man, they do an incredible job just giving us these little itty bitty details. I mean, we get in the first one where Joy is glowing, but it just looks so much better lit, and frames are just so much more smooth, and it's beautifully animated. It is just so magical. There are two emotional moments in the film that got me tearing up, and I'm not gonna say which ones, but man, y'all, they had me ready to bawl. There are heavy moments in this one that I think are more relatable to, as we are adults and as we remember our teenage years a little bit closer than our childhood years. It's so relatable, some of the messages that are said in this film. I like that we get more time with the emotions anger, disgust, and fear. That was something in the first one that I felt we didn't get enough of those three because they just stayed in the control center while joy and sadness were on the adventure. I like that they're all on the adventure and all working together to really stop the chaos that's going on with the new emotions. I love that they're working together and coming together as a pack here, and I like that we get so much more screen time with them that allows the new actors and to put their own stamp on these characters. So I love that we get to explore more of those three emotions that we didn't get as much of in the first movie, but we get more of them in this film. I will say that we didn't get as much of the new emotions that I thought we were gonna get. I know we got a lot of anxiety, but some of the newer ones, envy, ennui, and embarrassment, I think we could have used a little bit more of them. It's a little hard when you're dancing around that 1 hour and a half mark though, and that is another thing I gotta praise about this film. The pacing is tight, razor sharp. They do not let up off the gas. It's really just the emotions working the whole time. We get Riley in the moments with her at this hockey camp with a new female character who she looks up to and wants to be on the team with. I definitely think she has a little crush on her. I think that's kind of what they were hinting at, but I like that involvement in the story, and I love that they expand a lot on Riley and her friendship with two other girls. I think that that's such a relatable message in teenagers. You know, we have our closest friends who we love and adore, and they bring out the best and worst emotions in us, and I think that that plays out very well in the film. Beautifully animated, wonderfully scored, well directed, great voice acting. Guys, I asked this question at the beginning of the video. Is this one of Pixar's best sequels? Absolutely. Listen, Toy Story 3, in my opinion, is probably Pixar's best sequel. I'm really thinking of putting this at number 2 in terms of the sequels. Nothing is Toy Story 2 or Toy Story 4 or Incredibles 2 for that matter. Cars, we don't need to talk about that. But I just think that this is an incredible sequel. I think they did a great job of expanding on the first while still making this one feel fresh and have its own flow and flavor to it. It just does such an incredible job. It's funny, it's not forced humor. This is Pixar back at its peak, and this is Pixar in a way that I think they really needed, especially for theatrical releases, which they haven't had a ton of. So I think this is an absolute win for Pixar. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be in the best animated picture lineup. I'm not entirely sure if it's gonna win yet. Gotta wait and see how the year plays out, but I absolutely think this is getting a nomination, and it just really sung to me, guys, especially toward the end when we get a moment with anxiety that really is very relatable to even adults. Guys, I think this is a great film. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you've seen Inside Out 2, what do you think of the film? If you haven't seen it yet, are you excited about it? Let me know which new emotion you're looking forward to seeing most. And y'all, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. The name is Leo Rydell. Here on Geekly Goods, we talk the latest in movies, TV, Marvel, DC. So hit that subscribe button down below for more updates, and y'all will see you next time on Geekly Goods.